Hey everybody, it's time for the Great Ace Attorney Adventure 2, Resolve. Adventures,
Whoa.
Chronicles.
Whoa.
With Knuckles. And Knuckles.
With
Damn
Knuckles,
it.
featuring Dante from Devil May Cry.
We're doing... I have no idea.
I misread that as folio for a second. I was like, I'm not a folio.
How dare you? I don't contain papers.
I don't contain papers in a way that you can salvage them.
Why is Josh so big? He's not. That's the regular size. It's probably even smaller than usual, actually. 2nd November, 8:56 a.m., the Old Bailey Defendant's Antechamber.
The what Defendant's Antechamber?
The Old Bailey.
There it is.
Defendant's Antechamber.
I'm sorry to tell you, Molo guy, but you've just been you've been gaslit into
accepting a
into
small
thinking
Josh.
that I'm even smaller. Now I agree. Smaller now is definitely better, but Steven will only decrease me every so often.
There's that old familiar feeling again. The crushing pressure of this
Indigestion.
Historic courthouse. Actually, no. It's a little different today. There's an even more menacing tension in the air.
A mention, if you will. There is a menacing tension in the air here today, isn't there? I suppose.
Yes, I think so. Yeah, I guess if he's just there. It can only be the result of the menacing appearance of the defendant.
I'm going to drink your blood. For fun, not because I'm a vampire. Humans can do that too. A little more courtesy if you do. Oh my, I do apologize. However, you're certainly not mistaken that this trial is far from ordinary.
What do you mean?
I'm not privy to the details. I thought privy had 2 V's.
Oh.
I understand. However... Hold on, I gotta look that up now.
I thought it was one.
Nope, that's two V's is nothing.
Oh.
No, I was gonna say, I'm assuming they're correct. I just need to figure out why I think there's 2 V's. No idea.
Maybe
I understand that.
Maybe it's a Berenstain situation.
No, because it's probably just me. I can't. A one-man Mandela effect, or as I call it, having a bad brain.
As I call it, being wrong.
Your Honor, obviously the universe has convinced only me that of something that's untrue. How many words can I use to abscond from the fact that I'm just wrong?
Possible to say.
I understand that no jury has been selected. A trial without a jury? Well, that's just like the trial of the professor 10 years ago.
A closed court. Oh, hello. Good morning, my dear fellows. Oh, Mr. Sholmes, your hair is back to normal. Have you made note of my hair, Mr. Naruto? An outright victory for science, you must agree.
I pissed away the chemicals.
To be perfectly honest, so much happened yesterday that, well, I completely forgot about your little hair problem. Ha! What's to one man is a little hair problem, is to another a day of drinking dubious potion after dubious potion.
The sinister.
You have no idea how my stomach ails me this morning.
Oh dear, how awful for you.
Don't feel bad for him, he did it to himself.
Yeah, I know. He did this to try to get money.
I'm afraid you only have yourself to blame, Mr. Sholmes. Needed a sip. Mouth dry. And good morning to you, Mr. Reaper. I'm delighted to see you looking so full of vim.
And you. I see London celebrated great detective is as active as ever.
Oh, you exaggerate, my dear fellow. Compared to my paltry engagements with a few trivial cases, the Reaper's overbearing presence is a far greater deterrent to the black roots of crime in our capital. And whilst I may not agree with your methods, there's at least one point on which I would readily commend you.
What an honor. And that would be?
Your eye for a good lawyer, sir.
I'm going
Mr.
to kill.
Sholmes.
I may not have murdered Gregson, but I am about to commit a similar crime.
After all, behind this lawyer there is a very great mind, my own.
What are you trying to say?
I wish only to say that you should be prepared for quite a trial, Mr. Reaper. Sorry to barge in. Oh. That was neither of those people. Gina! What's that on her arm? It's a mourning band, I suppose.
Father, shouldn't you be at the symposium?
It's been postponed, so I have some free time. I decided to come along to the police inspector to see the country's up-and-coming student in action. I shall be very interested to see the fruits of your studies over the past year. Well, it's an honor to have you here. Let's hope there are some fruits to see. Gina's probably mad at us. Auto. Oh, yes, Gina? Why'd you agree to this, eh? Why'd you take him on? This Reaper bloke, everyone says it was him what killed the boss. I'm sorry, Gina, but I just don't believe that. Well, if it weren't him, who was it? I don't know that. Yet. I don't care who calls him what. The Reaper's just a name. He's just a person at the end of the day. And if it turns out it was him what killed the boss, then God help him.
Then I'll kill him, I will.
I'll kill myself.
You and what steak? I mean, fiery eyes indeed. Yes, the culprit deserves every ounce of your loathing.
Hey.
At least that may be some solace to the deceased. A morning band? Where's the evening band?
Please, Otto. Get whoever did this for the boss.
Oh, Gina.
I ain't feeling this useless, but there's nothing I can do. So you've got to find who done this and make that wretch pay. Counsel for the defense and the defendant. Court will be in session shortly. Make your way to the courtroom at once, please. All right, then. Here we go.
It's time, Mr. Naruto, Lord Van Zeeks.
Sounds like a goon when she says boss. Hey,
Boss.
the boss. One who lost his
pension.
treasured bird. One who lost his treasured
Bird.
brother to a mass murderer.
Oh, you're my brother. He's dead.
Bird.
He's dead.
Been killed by the mass murderer. Eaten by a rabid dog. One who lost his treasured father in a foreign court of law.
No, he was a murderer, apparently.
And one who lost the man who helped her escape destitution.
You could say dad. It's allowed.
All that misfortune, all that pain, on course to collide headlong in this trial. It's time to shine a light on all these dark events. And whatever truth is revealed, we're going to have to look it straight in the eye.
We're on the last case. Gappy.
Last one of the
It's the
game.
one
If
with
you
the-
don't want any spoilers, you've come to the
Yeah.
wrong place. 2nd November, 9:20 a.m. The old Bailey courtroom. Second game.
Last case of the second game. Also, speaking of, I was gonna say this earlier. I really hope that Sholmes did not, in fact, like, fix his hair so much as he just drank enough potions that like the color averaged out to one that's like similar to his hair color again.
I hope it's just slightly
And he has no
different.
idea. Yeah, it's like 1 hex value to the right or something.
In the name of Her Majesty the Queen, I hereby declare this court to be in session. We're here to conduct a fair and just trial defendant, Baroque Wanzix. Counsel was defended by the union. Are you ready to begin?
The defense is ready, my lord.
The prosecution. Wait, I have to
Okay.
not be a vampire. The prosecution. No, what am I doing? I'm in the defendant's side. What? The prosecution is more than ready. Oh, Kazuma-sama.
I've been wishing to see you in court again for so long, it feels.
But not like this.
But I never pictured it happening like this. Ah, my controller vibrated on the desk. I never thought I'd be facing you behind the prosecution's bench.
The so-called Weeper of the Bailey has been the scourge act over them, undermining Her Majesty's justice system. Today we must uncover the truth behind this scourge.
In other words, this trial is going to be a lot more far-reaching than Inspector Gregson's murder.
The truth revealed by these posters may have unpredictable repercussions. Accordingly, they ought to be conducted as a closed trial, with no members of the public present.
That is
I
absolutely
better not
correct,
see
Gaffy.
anyone in the back. Starts to Susanna sketch. She looks better than Kazuma and Ryunosuke. Yeah.
Completely.
It's the hat, though, really.
good
It's just because
hat.
neither of them have a hat. Yeah. You get distracted by the hat.
By Her Majesty's direct orders,
How will that work, my
Yeah,
lord?
see, who are those people then?
Don't worry about it.
Because they didn't remove the shadows in the background.
Yeah.
So he's like, no members of the public. However, these mannequins that
These
we
mannequins. We thought it'd be weird if it looked empty, so...
the burden of all arbitration and adjudication falls on my shoulders. Therefore, as you will see, the third bench shall remain vacant today.
Hey!
They're bringing it up. I've got the stream open on the right? And there was like an ad that was distracting me because it's like, it looked like an anime studio had animated it, and it was from fucking Warframe. Their like 1999 thing.
Yeah, apparently it's
It
really,
really
cool.
distracted me.
Apparently there was a bug briefly where you could accidentally like be able to bring your motorcycle that you get in 1999 into other missions, and they just went ahead and made it a feature instead.
Nice. The goddamn kangaroo. I mean, there are trials in America that don't have juries. Lots of them, actually. But
Like all traffic
not
court
normally
trials, I
murder.
assume.
yeah.
It'd be
Or
fucked up
divorce
if they
court.
had to get a fucking jury every time somebody like ran a red light or something.
If no members of the public are present, might I ask who is currently occupying the gallery, my lord?
They are members of the judiciary. They are, in fact, here to witness proceedings and ensure an equitable trial.
Members of the judiciary.
With the same silhouettes as the general public. Oh
Well, everybody
my.
wears top hats.
This is a very unusual trial today. Already.
Well, it was not a golden matter. Unprecedented aspect. The council for the Vatican event are both aliens of Great Britain.
Well,
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Huh. Yeah.
it does feel weird.
I believe it takes an outsider to see the truth sometimes. And as I stand here in this courtroom now, I'm quite certain. This is the reason why I had to come to Britain.
Kazuma?
Very well. Let us commence with proceedings. Prosecutor Asugi, your opening statement, if you please.
Certainly, my lord.
I know he's wearing white to,
I
like,
bring-
contrast, Ryunosuke's, like, black, but I think he looked
Yeah.
better in black.
I don't know, I kind of like this outfit.
I don't hate it. It's fine. Maybe I liked it with the mask more.
I mean, the mask was goated. I wish he had kept it. Eat your hamburgers. I love jelly donuts. The incident. Me when I spill my pens.
Oh no.
The incident took place on November 1st at just after 5 o'clock in the afternoon. The location was a building of flats on Fresno Street on the outskirts of the city. The victim's body was discovered there in an old single-room rental property.
Yes, Inspector Tobias Gregson, and I'm known very well indeed to this court. At least for his miraculous resolution of one of his grimmest cases 10 years ago.
Miraculous, huh?
Miraculous. Uh-oh.
Uh-oh. Wait, hold on. Uh-oh. Professor case. Oh no, did they just pin it on fucking...
On some
on a
folder.
random guy?
Yeah.
Oh god.
I've been thinking that. I'm like, that was fucking rigged, wasn't it? How are you so sure about the time of the incident?
Several witnesses on the street outside heard the gunshot, and all have reported the same time.
Yes, that's what Gina told us too. There were a number of witnesses. It's Soseki again.
Let's just... Yeah. I have here a plan of the room. The victim was found curled up in one corner. It's believed that he was shot from the front at point-blank range and died instantly.
How the range been determined?
Powder burns?
There were scorch marks around the entry room. Such marks are caused by the gunpowder used to fire the bullet. But powder hot enough to leave scorch marks is only ejected a few inches beyond the end of the barrel. In other words, it only happens when the target is at point-blank range.
Yes. Thank you for that detailed explanation, Counsel.
The autopsy report has been entered into the court record.
The murder weapon was found lying beside the victim.
But have you managed to ascertain the owner of this firearm?
No.
No, my lord. Not at all. Not conclusively. Bravo, Kazuma-san. For not trying to use the gun as evidence when its provenance can't be proven. Good job doing the bare minimum, Kazuma. It's more than I get from Ryunosuke. Furthermore, my lord, as I've explained, the revolver was fired at extremely close range. The bullet passed through the victim and struck the wall behind him. There is a candelabra mounted on that wall. The tip of one of the candles in it was found to have been blown off by the projectile. We noticed that too, didn't we?
Yes, that's right.
Thank you for the report, Counsel. The scene of the crime was clear to me. You submit the plan of the crime scene as evidence, please.
As you wish, my lord.
The crime scene floor plan and then entered in the court record.
Floor pan. I mean, when
Frying
I'm cooking
pan.
on the... My frying pan can be...
Is it Fresno Street, Boom, Inspector Gregson's private abode?
No, my lord. The room is rented to a Mr. Hugh Boone. But there... What the hell is... what is that anime, I suppose? But there is precious little furniture inside, and it is generally in a poor state of repair.
So what on earth was Gregson even doing there?
Presumably he was investigating some case or other. when a policeman was informed of the gunshot from the witnesses and rushed to the scene. He found only the deceased inspector and the accused standing alongside holding the revolver. The attending officer arrested the accused on the spot.
So, the details of the case are clear.
In that case, the prosecution would like to call its first witness.
A name, please, counsel.
Naturally, the accused himself.
Oh shit, the Lord Van Zeeks.
As a prosecutor, he believes in the oath of office he's taken, and will be compelled to tell the truth.
Very well, let the defendant take the witness stand.
Aye.
So, witness, state your name and occupation for the court. So that is what I've been doing to people? Barak Van Zeeks, Old Bailey prosecutor.
I presume, Lord Van Zeeks, that you heard Prosecutor Oswei's opening preface.
Maybe?
Recus
on.
Priestess? I have no idea.
We're gonna find out together.
This game has taught us so much
Tracy!
language. Aha! We were both wrong. It was French.
It was French all along. Listen, there's supposed to be a thingy over the thing.
Yeah.
There's a thingy over the E yeah. But there wasn't one here, so we had no way of knowing.
How would
It's
we
like
know?
how it's Pokemon.
The classic French series.
The classic French game. Getting a swig of lemonade. Give me a second.
Yeah, no problem.
I've got 3 guys in here, and it's really already doing a number on me. I did.
Mr. Ledbury, you were found at the scene of the crime, and that you were arrested by the wrong police officer. Can you confirm this?
Yes, my lord. Then I'm sure the court would like to hear you explain some things away. Namely, why you were there in the room on Fresno Street at the time in question. And what exactly took place. I intend to explain away nothing. I will simply tell the truth.
I must say, Lord Van Zeeks, I never imagined this day would come. Or rather, I didn't want to imagine it would come. For since you became known as a Reaper, part of me has been dreading it.
Yeah, well, you're stupid.
You're a
Your
dumb.
former test.
Yeah, you're stinky, and the queen hates you. She told me.
Your formal testimony, then, witness.
Witness testimony. Now, this is unfortunate because we're gonna have to catch him lying. That's how the game works.
I was investigating Gregson, and my inquiries had led me to that address. When I first entered the room that day, it was dark inside, and I saw no one. A moment later, I heard the gunshot. I spun around and saw the revolver on the floor. Just as I picked the firearm up to examine it, the door flew open and I heard the man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me. Like a magic trick. That testimony was the whole truth?
No.
It was. Definitely. I'm not even crossing my fingers. So, you heard a shot being fired in a room with no living occupants. And moments later, a corpse somehow appeared before your eyes. Is that right? You're right. You haven't explained away anything. In fact, that would barely qualify as an excuse. Would you believe that I saw an orangutan in the locked room? I thought you were my mute apprentice. Yet it turns out you have a way with words. Prosecutor Asugi.
It would appear to be a singular tale indeed.
Singular isn't the word. It's laughable.
What's got into Kazuma? He's not behaving like himself at all.
Maybe he's possessed by like an evil ghost.
Very well then.
A year being fucking... Oh no, I've forgotten the word. I'm the thing now.
What?
The word for when you forget all the stuff that is... A year being an amnesiac is really made
Oh,
of a dick
okay,
bag.
got it. Yeah, when you forget the stuff.
You know, this
Oh,
the all
no.
of it, you know?
The everything, yeah.
Whew.
I'm sorry, but your husband has forgot everything.
All the things that he knew. All,
all the
gone.
things
Poof.
all the things forgot. It will take time and therapy to recover.
Captain, you may begin your wrong examination.
Yes, my lord. Time to press some statements.
So why was he investigating Gregson?
That's a good question.
I bet that's what
I'm
we're gonna
hoping.
ask.
I'm hoping that he will answer that question if I ask it. Vice Gregson, 45, nationality British. Time of death.
Maria Gori.
I wonder if that's the scary masked lady. The
She
time
would-
of
that
death
would
is not
be a
listed on
different-
this report.
Yeah. That would be a little weird because that was Scythe's daughter, and
At least
Gori is
I thought it
neither
was.
Scythe's. Yeah, that well, she said daughter. I'm pretty sure,
Maybe adopted.
and Scythe is not is Scythe's original last name was like fucking Courtney or
Some
whatever, right? Whatever
yeah,
it was.
Yes, something.
It wasn't fucking Gory.
It was not. Victim was shot in the chest at close range from the front, resulting in instant death. Scorch marks at point of entry. The bullet exited the body from behind. Additional observations: the caliber of the gun used matches that of standard issue firearms for members of the judiciary. Still wild to me that every member of the court is issued a gun.
Hell yeah, brother.
Nothing useful to be gleaned from that. The facts of the incident. Hold it. You were investigating the inspector? What on earth for?
I'm not at liberty to say.
Well, that's not helpful. Sorry?
I'd identified a distinct possibility that Gregson was involved in the case I was investigating. Regrettably, though, he was killed before I could secure the proof I needed.
Is the court to understand then, that on the day in question you followed the victim to the scene?
No, I was privy to his movements in advance.
How?
I stole into his office at the yard and consulted his diary. The address on Fresno Street was noted in the 5 p.m. entry. You illegally entered the man's office. In Japan, that alone would constitute a very serious offense.
As it goes in Great Britain, I assure you. Is that not the case, old Van Zeeks?
I was aware of the possible consequence. So, in summary, you were investigating the victim, and yet you refused to tell the court why. I didn't realize British prosecutors enjoyed such freedom to choose what to divulge under oath.
Ugh. Why did I ever think I could defend this man? Dark inside and I saw no one. Hold it! Hold it! Had you ever been to the address before?
No, never. I only learned of the place as a result of my investigations into Gregson's activities. There was no light inside when I entered, so it was all but impossible to make anything out.
But at 5 p.m., the sun would only just have gone down. It would still have been reasonably light outside.
The windows reported. The room has a window, but it was boarded shut. Very little light found its way into the room from outside, so it was extremely murky inside. It was ooky spooky. I wouldn't have noticed if the victim was already lying on the floor. There was no artificial light in the room, you say? You're quite sure? There was a lot of dust in the fireplace. I'm quite sure that that part of the room where the body was found was very dark. I have a feeling there was a small oil lamp burning on the desk, though I couldn't say for certain. Look, Mr. Nardo. There is a small desk in the room just here, right in front of the fireplace. It's
Yes,
insane.
I remember, and there was an oil lamp on it, as well as the framed photograph.
When I entered the room, I closed the door behind me, darted towards the desk to investigate.
And what did you find?
Nothing. I never actually reached the desk.
Hold it. So, who fired the gun?
I have no idea. I didn't see anyone else in the room.
But you say it was very dark in there?
Yes, that's right. All I can tell you is I didn't sense another's presence. Another
Aha.
human?
Then could it be that the gunshot actually originated from somewhere outside the room?
No, that's out of the question.
Oh. I love when he's
Without
doing the
a doubt.
pose and he's just like, ah, I see.
Well, piss. Without a doubt, the sound emanated from inside the room. I could smell the gunpowder.
Ugh, this is going from bad to worse.
And you say that that's the point at which you noticed the revolver on the floor. Correct. And I foolishly picked it up. That was carelessness on my part.
Yes, it was.
Presumably, then, the gunshot you heard came from the firearm you somewhat hastily took in your hands.
In point of fact, my lord, I believe it did not.
What?
The barrel of the revolver I picked up was cold, and there was no smell of spent powder.
But then, where on earth was the gun that was fired?
Whilst I would like to oblige you with an answer, I'm afraid I can't. I too would dearly like to know that. The candelabrum was a gun and it shot.
The door flew open. I heard a man scream. Hold it. This is me. A man, you say? One of the witnesses, I presume.
This is this is the only person in the room that's you.
I know.
That's right. One of the street merchants working on Fresno Street.
Who are these merchants?
A number of them had set up their stalls directly beneath the boarded window at the scene of the crime. A match seller, a newsmonger, and a peddler. They were all in a big tub. They've all given statements saying that they heard the gunshot.
These are gonna be some fucked up looking guys, I bet.
Oh yeah. The matchstick guy's gonna like look like a matchstick or something stupid.
Gonna be actively on fire or something.
Yeah. And without thought of danger, they ran inside to see what happened. Yes, Gina told us about that yesterday, didn't she? They burst through the door with some force, it would seem. They did, and almost gave me a heart attack in the process.
And I was holding a loaded gun. Who knows what could have happened?
I'm
You're
just
supposed
saying,
to be
it
the
would have made
Reaper.
sense if I started blasting. The first man to come in immediately noticed the revolver in my hand and fled. A policeman patrolling on Fresno Street heard the commotion. He was able to arrest the accused shortly after the incident occurred. Anyway, the man's scream drew my attention in that direction.
Yeah, I would think. Hold it.
What do you mean appeared?
What do you mean by that? In what way did the body appear?
I honestly can't explain it, but it's the truth. As far as I was concerned, the body hadn't been there until that point, and then suddenly, there it was.
Did you perhaps hear the sound of the victim falling to the ground just beforehand?
At that moment, what I heard was the sound of the door flying up and the scream of the man who had came from inside. Nothing more.
I see. We didn't find like a tarp or something at the, like a cloth or something,
I
did we?
don't think so. After the man fled, I examined the body. I was stunned to find that it was Gregson.
How curious circumstantial indeed.
How the inspector was killed, or how his body seemed to appear out of nowhere, I have no idea.
Oh,
Surely the court has heard enough. My lord, the cross-examination has clearly revealed that the accused, Barak Van Zeeks, is lying on multiple fronts.
oh shit, he's got a point too. What is that supposed to mean?
Good gracious, counsel.
This fucking theme is kick-ass also.
Oh, hold on, I need to, hold on.
I don't know who this is.
Ooh, that is pretty good.
Oh, it doesn't say who says that. It's just someone saying it in the court, I guess.
Sholmes, maybe?
The defendant is lying, you say?
Oh. In his testimony just now, he claims that he failed to notice the victim's body because the room was dark. That's correct.
Ooh, it's got Kazuma's theme mixed in there too. Hell yeah.
No, that's impossible. As proven by this candelabrum.
How does that prove anything?
If you examine the tip of the long candle, you can see it has been blown off by a powerful impact.
One would assume that the projectile from the firearm passed through the victim and struck the candle.
I don't think that's possible unless fucking he was really tall.
Or
Or the candelabrum was
very
very
short
low on the
gunman.
wall. Or yeah.
Odd Job from,
Odd
you know,
Job
from
did
James
it.
Bond.
Your Honor, odd job.
Odd Job.
Death.
The problem comes when you consider the other two candles, which are clearly of a different length.
Yes, I can see that only the candle appears to have been struck by the bullet is long.
We can reasonably expect that someone to have lit all three candles together, which begs the question of why only one has ended up longer than the others.
That must be because that particular candle was extinguished when the others were still burning. Ah,
That's right. When the candle was hit by the bullet, it obviously went out. But the other two candles that would still have been burning. So the fact is, the victim's body would have been illuminated by the light still thrown by the candelabrum. And the accused claims that he couldn't see the body clearly contradicts those facts. But and now to the next lie.
there's more?
The accused also claims never to have visited the scene of the crime before. That's the truth. In that almost empty room, the police discovered something very unusual. A board covered from top to bottom in police documents and newspaper cuttings. Yes, that's right. We saw it too. It goes without saying that the contents of the police documents cannot be divulged. However, they included a number of reports from various historical cases, the oldest of which was from 10 years ago.
10 years ago? This is starting to sound familiar.
And there is a common thread linking all of the documents on that board.
Indeed. What is this common thread, Council?
They all relate to cases prosecuted in court by Barak Van Zieks.
All of them?
And furthermore, all those cases are ones in which the defendant was acquitted.
Good Lord!
Interestingly, none of those defendants are alive today, because all of them have been sent to their graves by the Reaper.
Ah!
Oh no. In short, that dingy little room is the Reaper's secret hideout and his base of operations.
The Reaper's hideout?
And yet the Reaper would claim never to have been to his own secret hideout? No one would believe that. No, the truth is, we've been looking at this backwards.
I want to, so what I'm thinking is that was Gregson's hideout or whatever, where he went to solve whatever thing he was working on. And I wanted to believe that Van Zieks has an identical board in his office or something, right? Like they've both been looking into it and have found exactly the same information.
That'd be awesome.
Backwards? Explain, Council.
It's not forwards. Inspector Gregson was investigating the identity of the Reaper. When he discovered the location of the man's secret hideout, he was killed. I'm sure everyone can imagine. By the Reaper's hand.
What? What? Okay, well the good news is we know that's not what happened. So now we have something we can counter.
Order. Very well. I hereby state the current opinion of the court. Barak Van Zieks is an outstanding prosecutor who has rendered great services to his country. However, it with deep regret that I must concur with Professor Osagi's whatever,
Contention.
that the defendant's testimony...
God, this is so many words. It's too many gravel words all at once.
Yeah.
Normally the judge speaks less.
I know.
That the defendant's testimony exhibits a number of stark inconsistencies with the known facts.
All I have done is state the truth as I know it.
Kazuma's done a brilliant job as ever. He's drawing on his experience as a defense attorney to build his prosecution case, and it's formidable.
Counsel, you will submit to the board you just showed the court as evidence. Proved to be fundamental in establishing the facts surrounding the Reaper's existence.
I would also love a look at that thing if it's actually a thing we can look at.
Oh.
Sorry.
Thank you, my lord. I got it off
The notice
stream.
board has been entered into the court record.
And now the prosecution would like to call new witnesses to the stand.
1 second. Oh, that's not as helpful. Aha! Well,
Ooh.
that'll be useful.
Oh, what's this? Mr. Naruto, look!
Oh yes, it's a smudge of some kind. In fact, it looks just like a handprint.
And the color. That's blood, isn't it? Oh dear, how disturbing.
The details of the notice board have been updated in the court record. Yeah, I mean, that was probably the thing we had to find, wasn't it? I doubt this is going to help us, but I do want to see if they say anything.
There are details of a whole raft of cases dating back years on here, aren't there?
This paper from 10 years ago is browning with age, look.
Out of interest, the most recent thing appears to be this newspaper cutting here.
Oh, it's the same Red-Headed League advertisement that Mr. Sholmes had picked out.
And do you remember? There's a red hairpiece at the scene too.
Inspector Gregson an exponent of the Red-Headed League, then? Imagine, though. Before he got old, he was a redhead. Did that. I do like to imagine while he's saying the sentence, Naruto and Susato are just like looking over the notice board like, weird.
This is why I never wanted to remember. Witnesses who saw events unfold on the day in question. They were mentioned in the previous testimony too, if you remember. Yeah, the little freaks.
The street sellers
Yeah,
who
I
heard the
wanna see
gunshot
them.
and when returned into the
Let
room.
me see all the freaks.
Running.
Let me see the freaks.
Very well, we the witnesses in. Defendant may step down from the witness stand.
Certainly, my lord.
You didn't have to do that. Oh god. Oh
Oh,
god.
it's a little matchstick girl.
Beppo!
Oh, hey!
Beppo's
Beppo!
back. Oh no, did he get fired from the... Aw, man. Poor Beppo.
Beppo is, you know...
He's doing...
It would be a little matchstick girl, wouldn't it? Just to
Yeah.
remind me of that horrible little... You've seen that animation, right? It sucks that I hate it.
I don't know if I've seen the animation, but I'm familiar with the story of the little matchstick girl.
Yeah, there's like a...
It's a classic, in the sad way.
It's a classic. It's a classic in that it sucks ass, and I hate it. There's like an animation that I saw of it. What was it? I mean, there's been like multiple, but I remember there being one that I saw like years ago that I was like, my god, this sucks.
Extremely sad.
There's also a fun fact. There's a Spider-Man story that's kind of similar
Oh no.
to the little matchstick girl. There's like a little homeless girl, and up in her, and I'm paraphrasing because I don't remember it that well, but like she really likes Spider-Man, and she lives in like a cardboard box, right? And she's plastered newspaper cuttings of Spider-Man all around. And as she begins to die from the cold, she like hallucinates herself like getting to meet Spider-Man, and then it reveals that Spider-Man is in fact carrying her to the hospital actively, and she like wakes up, becomes cognizant enough to see Spider-Man, and then dies.
Oh no.
Yeah. Yeah.
So that sucks.
Yep. Yeah. It's no better than the original Matchstick Girl either. I'm looking at the YouTube summary of it. It's really sucks. Because she even had, I didn't even remember this, but she had a home. It's just that her father would beat her for not selling any matches. So instead, she just lights the matches to keep herself warm.
Go home. Yeah.
Yeah, because her father sucks shit. At least she gets a bunch of visions, and then her grandmother's soul takes her to heaven.
Yay.
Yeah. Yeah. Hans Christian Andersen sucks. We should have killed him with hammers. What a bitch. How dare he make me feel emotions that I don't want to feel. Ah, yes. If you want to be sad about the Spider-Man thing, it's a little girl called Leah is the name of the short story. It's like 2 panels of comics. She liked Spider-Man so much. Sorry, I'm distracted now. I think it's like 5 pages. It's like a little one-shot story. I don't know where it got printed. I'm not that in the know. But yeah, it's basically the same story. A little homeless girl. She loves Spider-Man. She's got Spider-Man stuff. Then she you know.
Yeah.
And Peter's also really upset about it because he's like, dead child.
If only I were Tony Stark and could just prevent homelessness in New York City. But I choose not to do that, and instead I choose to be Iron Man.
Yeah. Listen, it's comics. Sometimes you have to fucking ignore
Sometimes you have to
things.
pretend other guys. Yeah, you have to pretend other guys don't exist, or things start to fall apart.
Yeah.
Like when Blade does stuff, I imagine he just has to pretend no other superheroes exist in New York. Otherwise, he'd get really
happens
mad
a
about
lot.
why nobody ever helps him with the fucking vampires.
It's kind of become a joke how little the Avengers like to chip in on things. And then there's like you would assume that no heroes ever show up in Hell's Kitchen except for Daredevil or Daredevil. There are 2 Daredevils now, at least.
More than
So
there were
they've
before.
got that going for them. Yeah.
Twice as
Elektra
many
also
Daredevils.
became a Daredevil. Man. Anyways. So, witnesses. State your names and occupations for the court.
Well, we know Beppo. I wonder how dumb the other 2 names are gonna be. I guess I could take some of these, some or all of these. If
I
you
don't want
want.
to... Yeah, maybe. I have a lot of people in this court already.
names. Far too fancy for the likes of us. We're just free and easy. Sell what we like, live where we want to live. I give them all a vacant stairs. They will walk down Fresno and spin a few words into a verse for them.
Why be writing this, assuming that all 3 of you make your living by selling wares on the street?
Everyone calls me gossip. I sell jaunty little tidbits to passers-by, you know. Jaunty little tidbits? Got an absolute smasher for you, sir. Roll up your Guinness with this. 6 pence is the price and not a penny less. Wait, you're actually trying to sell it to me now? Oh, come on, sir. Don't tell me you're not interested.
Try the man. Give him the money and see what it is.
Pay the man, counsel.
What?
All to be a cheap ass.
6 pence it is. You won't regret it, sir. Now you got your listening ears on. Just between us, a young couple on Slate Street have just had twins. Is that it? No, that's not it. It's gossip, innit? It wants to spread, but that bit's up to you and your mouth, of course. I got more, you know. What, not a juicy one? 6 pence a piece it is, if you're curious. I am curious, yes, about what's going on just under that fat bottom lip of yours. Namely, that unusual bruise or whatever it is that's poking out from under your collar. Oh, shit.
Yeah, he was strangled. What about the next witness, then? What name do you go by, and what do you sell?
Me? I'm Venus. That's what everyone calls me. Funny, innit? Oh, God. Why do those look like fucking shells?
That's kind of what firecrackers look like.
I sell these lovely little fireworks to all the local school kids. What? 6 pence a pop. What
Ah,
do
she
you
strikes
say?
it right on her ass.
Right on her ass. Please don't do that in court. You weren't exaggerating with the little. Do they actually sell? Oh yeah, the second years can't get enough of my Venus firecrackers. Especially when I tell them that if they get 100, they could blow up the school.
Are the most savory ideas, young lady.
What do you say then, eh? Want to part with a 6 pence for a pop? Wait, what? You want me to buy one? Tell you what, I'll let you in on a little secret. If you get 100 of them, you could blow up the whole courtroom.
Try the woman. Give her the money and see if she's right.
Pay the woman, counsel.
All right,
This
all
is
right. I'll
ridiculous.
buy one. Even the judge. Lovely stuff. Right then, this is something a bit extra just for you. Whoa, the Venus special. Only 600 pence. 600? It's 100 of my regular fireworks. Nothing little about that, is there? And there'd be nothing little about the punishment if I blew up the Old Bailey, either. The Venus firecracker has been entered into the court record. Oh, I mean, yeah, I guess that could make a gunshot noise, couldn't it?
Yeah. And the last witness. What name do you go by and what do you sell?
Oh, I forgot what... Old man. I may think of me. Think all sorts of thoughts. I think, therefore I am. I am, therefore I think. I think. Cause I stand there on the street, watching the world go on about me. They call me the Observator. Get out of it, old man. Everyone calls you Sandwich, and you know it.
So, you don't actually sell anything?
Problem shared is a problem halved, as they say. I give advice, I do, and think what it means. Hot, actual hero. What? I don't sell anything, no, come to think of it. That's
Like
very
the
sad.
sandwich? Like a hero sandwich?
I guess.
Pity.
No more purchases today, please.
Well, we have got the cash here, it seems.
They conduct their business on Fresno Street from morning until night, my lord. And always in the same place, directly adjacent to the crime scene.
I see. But thus they have the gunshot, I suppose.
Not only that, but they very bravely ran inside to see what was going on and witnessed the crime.
We'll all be beggared, I thought. Just between us. Venus de Milo, what? That's not your voice. Venus de Milo, what am I to do? What a terrible thing I saw. What I think is, if all what we see is light and shadow, the laying of our eyes, is any of it real?
Man, Beppo has lost it.
I know. He used to be a respectable cab driver. What happened to you, Beppo?
Brain froze. What was that last line?
Very well.
Very well. We will hear the formal testimony of these three witnesses now.
Jesus
You'll describe in
Christ.
detail what you witnessed and heard at the time of the incident.
I like how we have all the serious characters, and then here's these three dipshits, just in case you were worried this wasn't an Ace Attorney game. The witness's account. We saw the whole thing from start to finish, we did. Well, that's a lie. Everything from the moment they were in the building. It was less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang. Seems to me that quick to talk is quick to walk. Gossip couldn't wait to go and see what had happened. We ran in the room and there he was, the Reaper gone in hand standing over the dead body. I was scared half to death, me, so I ran off to find a copper. I love that it's one regular anime woman and two fucked up guys.
Two. Yeah, I mean, she's just like fucking actually just Red Riding Hood and
Yeah.
nothing weird.
If these witnesses were there the whole day and saw everything, who did they see going inside the building?
Only the victim, Inspector Gregson, and the accused, Barak Van Zeeks.
I've seen pictures of that Reaper in the paper. I know what he looks like. And just between us, folks love stories like this. I've already made myself a tiny sum already. But wait, the room was just one of several flats in the building. Someone from another flat could have done it.
All those flats on Fresno Street are unoccupied.
Of course they are. They're small, damp, dirty, and expensive to boot. It's a bad combination.
The room... The room in which the inspector was found is the only property in the building that's currently leased. We know the leaseholder's name, don't we? It's Hugh Boone.
As my record the road would appear to be little put out. It's only increasingly difficult to see how anyone other than the offender could have committed the crime.
No.
Thank you for your candor, my lord.
Counsel word events. You may proceed to cross-examine the witnesses.
Yes, my lord. In a closed court like this without a jury, the judge is the only person whose opinion matters. I have to break down this testimony. Somehow. There will be no summation examinations this time. The witness's account. I want to look at that firecracker real quick. I doubt I'll find anything useful here, but might as well, right? It's just, yeah, this is just a firecracker.
Yep.
I can't click on any of it. Oh, wait. Aha.
Ah, the very end.
A fuse.
Have you had an idea, Mr. Narhado? You're staring at the end of the string of fireworks.
Sorry, it's just that it's the Venus special. I was wondering what 600 pence worth of fireworks would sound like.
Shall we find out?
What? But she said it could blow up the courtroom. Bang! Alright, that was a fairly sizable bang.
My ears are still ringing, Mr. Narhado. It sounded almost exactly like...
A gunshot? Yeah. Yeah, obviously.
Yeah!
Yeah, I mean, yeah. Why else would they hand us this thing? The witness's accounts. We saw the whole thing from start to... Hold on. Hold it. That's the word. When you say they, who do you mean exactly? Inspector Gregson and the defendant, Lord Van Zeeks?
I suppose so. It likes of us don't know the names of the high and mighty. But I'll tell you one thing. It was the old Reaper that went in last, that's for sure and certain.
Just behind Inspector Gregson, did they arrive at the same time as each other?
No, not at all. The first fella must have gone inside a good 15 minutes before we heard that gunshot.
The victim arrived 15 minutes before. Are you sure about that?
Am I sure? Am I sure? Doesn't seem likely that I've forgotten a fella with bright red hair like that, does it?
Yeah, his hair really were red, weren't it? Redder than my flaming fireworks, even. Yeah, that fiery red map still burnt on the inside of my eyelids, it is. Wait a minute. You're saying the man was a redhead?
Weren't you listening, chum? Oh, he was a redhead. And he had a big trunk with him as well.
Big trunk.
But Inspector Gregson's hair isn't red. Not by any stretch of the imagination.
Seems likely that the person you saw wasn't in fact Inspector Gregson at all, but some other third party. Oh, it was the wig, guys. Come on.
No, I hate to break it to you, but the witnesses are correct.
What? Oh, hey, a picture.
Just take a look at this photograph of the victim taken at the scene.
Yes, that's Inspector Gregson, all right.
And a red hairpiece.
Ah!
Of course. We saw one on the floor when we investigated the scene, didn't we?
I still refuse to believe Inspector Gregson wore a hairpiece, though. So then why on earth would he have been wearing something like that?
Color does seem to suit the man, one might say. Photograph will be submitted as evidence, please, counsel.
Let's take a look at that bad boy. I doubt there's anything useful on it, but I'm gonna look.
But we gotta look.
We gotta
You never
look.
know. We gotta. We simply must.
Oh, it loops around. Yeah, I don't really know what we're supposed to get from this, if anything. That's just how his hands are just drawn. We can't see the bullet wound from this angle. Just, yeah, I don't know. Maybe something weird will become apparent later.
It's like he's sleeping.
What became of the trunk that the red-headed victim was supposedly carrying?
I was informed that no trunk was found at the scene.
So it just disappeared?
What, do you expect us to been watching the building every second, do you?
We definitely saw him in the dock going in, though. No question about that. Less than a minute after the Reaper had gone inside that we all heard a big bang.
Hold it!
By which presumably you mean the gunshot. I sell these little things, don't I? How would I know what a gunshot sounds like? But I've always thought it probably sounds a bit like this, doesn't it? And you say that you heard the noise almost as soon as you saw the defendant enter the building.
That's right. It was almost straight away. Bang, it went. Just like that.
Well, he's the Reaper, innit? Is that what the French call a fait accompli? When the Reaper's around, people are going in the ground. I mean, that's what he does, innit?
I think we get the message.
The Reaper couldn't allow the inspector to live after he'd discovered his secret hideout. There can be no clear motive for the crime.
Yes. Certainly an eminently credible motive.
Right.
And at that point, you ran outside, is that correct?
What the hell? Oh, God.
Hold it!
Right. So, when Gossip ran to see what had happened, did you go too?
Well, me, I'm a bit hampered, see? All the signs of that I can't move very well.
You were way behind, presumably, with that sandwich board around your neck and that big sign in your hand.
What a great burden you bear. Pardon me for asking, Mr. Sandwich, but is it possible you and I have met before?
Yeah, I'm not anybody, me. The signs will make me who I am now. I signed, therefore I am.
So you weren't employed as an omnibus driver just under a year ago, then?
I might be mistaken, but I believe his trembling has intensified, Mr. Narhado.
Yes, I agree. He's clearly been through a lot.
Turn down King Henry's tree and the Black Widower's arms is just there.
Oh dear, you've made him hide behind his sign.
Life is full of surprises. Poor Beppo. What
Peppa,
happened to you, man?
what's up, man? Yeah, did you?
Hold it. So then, you were the first person to arrive on the scene, is that right?
That I was. Kicked the door open like a professional, I did. I yelled out, "What's going off here?"
Lord Van Zeeks claimed all he heard was a man's scream, though.
And was it dark inside the room?
No, not dark at all. There were candles burning on the wall.
Really?
And there was a fella collapsed on the floor. Just between us is the first thing I noticed when I got inside.
I think that's probably not true. Hold on. What's the layout of that room? I think the door opens that way.
Isn't the door open that way?
Yes,
Yeah,
the door
it would.
does open that way. There's no fucking way you would have seen that.
Yeah.
Keep that
Listen,
in
I
mind.
watch the Feng Shui guy on TikTok sometimes.
Ah, I see.
Nah, actually, I watch him on YouTube Shorts.
Even though Lord Van Zeeks claims not to have seen any such lights on the wall.
Next thing I noticed was someone standing right beside the body.
The accused, Baroque Van Zeeks.
That's right, the pale-faced Reaper himself. I was
Hey.
a little shocked, I won't deny it, but I'm no lily-livered coward. I stood my ground and gave that Reaper a cold hard stare myself.
Yeah?
Excuse me.
Excuse me. Do you have something to add, Mr. Sandwich? Rianowski, you know
There's
his name
a,
is Beppo.
There's a make some noise where Jacob is Mr. Mayo, and then Mr. Sandwich thing keeps reminding me of it. It's a really good clip. I highly recommend it.
There's really...
That's
There's really
Wait, wrong
nothing
one.
to me. Empty in the head I am. Just 2 slices with no middle.
that's not a sandwich.
So I don't know what you could want with
Air
me.
sandwich.
I think that maybe you just remembered something. Having heard Mr. Gossip's last statement, I mean.
What I think is, we're all nothings really. We try to dress ourselves up as something else, but at the end of the day, we're all just street sellers.
That's enough out of you, Sandwich. Keep your trap shut now. I'm gonna get the hose again. Unless you want us to make you into a real sandwich.
When he saw the Reaper, he fell clean over on his backside.
That's it.
Oh, you rotten beggar. I told you to keep that a secret.
He screamed, he did. Screamed and scrambled off on all fours. That's all I wanted to say.
Mr. Gossip, is this true?
The floor was dead slippery, that's why. Planted my hands on a filthy pool of blood, didn't I? Yuck.
Ah.
What? A pool of blood?
Well, listen here. Even when I was sprawled out on the floor, I still kept giving that Reaper a cold hard stare, and don't you forget it.
Let's just go back a little. Did you say you got blood on your hand?
Oh, I did, I. Happens to be best of us at times, doesn't it?
No.
So I was scared, so I slipped over. We can keep that just between us, can't we?
No, Mr. Gossip. I'm going to have to ask you to add that information to your formal testimony.
So is the
Oh.
board like laying on the ground?
Yeah,
That
maybe.
his handprint ended up on the back?
I
'Cause
guess.
otherwise, you would have had to be reaching over the board, top of
Yeah,
the board.
it's like it was
for
pointed
some reason.
downwards. Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah.
if I must.
What is well made in the testimony to include the performance details at once.
I slipped over and got blood on my hands and quickly wiped it off on the floor.
Yeah, see? So the board must have been on the ground,
Yeah, had to have
I
been.
guess. Or he's lying. You think we present
Objection.
this?
I think so.
Yeah.
So you wiped off the blood from your hand on the floor of the room. Are you quite sure about that?
Well, what else do you expect me to have done, eh? Does it really matter?
Objection.
Oh, God.
The police found no such handprint on the floor during their investigation.
His objections are so aggressive.
What exactly is
Objection.
the defense asserting?
If you listen, you'll find out, Prosecutor Asugi.
What?
Got his ass. I wish I had an air horn. Certainly there was no bloody handprint found. On the floor.
On the floor? What are you trying to say?
There was a handprint
Oh,
of
he
blood
can't
left
do his-
very clearly at the scene. What?
Did he? So I'm trying to remember. Did we get a new sword from somebody?
No.
No, right?
We don't have it
one, so we
anymore.
can't do the smug hand on sword stance.
No. He gave the sword back to
That
Kazuma. And
sucks.
Kazuma just has 2 swords
Yeah.
now.
Yeah, he's 2 swords now. That sucks.
There was a handprint and blood left very clearly at the scene. On the back of
Oh,
this notice
is
board.
the
Yeah, I think this
I
is
guess
it.
this is the new smug pose.
Yeah.
Oh.
I am indeed. It is merely a handprint in the distinctive color of blood.
Oh, you're dead right. That's my right hand. I'd know it anywhere.
Hot actual
Isn't that a
hero.
left handprint? Oh no, it is a right hand. The witness very definitely testified that he wiped his hand on the floor. Any handprints on the back of the board are irrelevant.
Objection.
What?
Not if the board itself had fallen over onto the floor. In that case, it's quite possible for the witness's handprint to have ended up there.
Just look at the floor plan of the room. The notice board was in the opposite corner of the room to the victim and in an upright position.
Why is the door opening layout not pictured on the one that we have? Because I
I
had to
know,
look
right?
at the
It's kind of
doorknob
annoying.
for that, so I was like, what?
Yeah, I know. I was just thinking that. Even if it had somehow been toppled over and was laying on the floor at the time, it would have been a considerable distance from the body.
That's true. Then how did he get blood on him? That is an excellent question, actually.
I fell over when I came across the body, so I was basically right next to the corpse, not on the other side of the room.
In other words, the defense's assertion is contradictory.
Yes, it is. That's not what I was expecting you to say.
What? Excuse me. No, what are you doing?
There's a very definite contradiction here for which there must be a reason.
I take it you formulate a proper hypothesis, Counsel, regarding this apparent discrepancy between the witness's account and the handprint found at the scene.
I have, my lord. This discrepancy between the witness's account and the location of the hamburger is explained by...
Well, the board moving, I assume.
I think it's either the board moving or false testimony, because well...
I don't think he's lying, though, is the thing.
So does that mean Gregson's either he...
Because Gregson's body, if Gregson's body had been moved, then someone would have had to clean up all the blood.
Yeah.
And I just don't, I feel like that isn't true.
So the board had to have been over on the other side then, yeah.
Which maybe if the board was standing upright, it blocked the view.
And when he kicked the door open, maybe that knocked the thing over.
Because if the board was standing upright near the body, then maybe when Van Zieks entered the room, he didn't see the body because there was a fucking big-ass board in the way. And he just, like, didn't, you know what I mean? Like, it was blocking the light and stuff.
If it's gonna be... I think you're right, it's board moving. If it's not board moving, then it's the false testimony, but... The real contradiction here is the handprint itself, not where it was found. This seems to be right. As the court can see, it's upside down.
Well, razor, so it is. The witness had put his hand against the board. The finger should be pointing upwards.
What does that tell us?
It tells one simple fact. When this handprint was made, the board must have been lying on the floor as I previously suggested.
Yeah,
which
so
means,
someone stood it up, and that means they just moved it, too.
Which means that after the incident, it must have been moved.
What?
The way he's throwing his ass
His
out.
posture's crazy. I was just gonna say, gossip is, wow. Gossip isn't the only thing that's spread. You're claiming that somebody moved the notice board after the shooting. Then tell the court who.
I don't know that yet. No, I did. Well, that is what he said, I guess. But the point is, when you consider all the testimony we've heard so far, we can now be very clear on one point.
And that would be?
The position of the notice board at the time of the incident, my lord.
No, counsel. I must ask you to clarify your assertion for the court.
Where was the board?
It must have been
At the time of the incident, where do you maintain the notice board was situated?
Yeah,
like right to the left of the body.
Yeah, it had to have been, because that would explain also why he didn't
Like
see
right
any
there,
light
yeah.
in the room.
That's what I'm
There's
saying.
a giant
Yeah.
ass board in the way. This is the
No,
only
that's what I'm
possible
saying.
location.
I did think it was going to be right next to the door like this, because you mentioned the door knocking over, which I agree with.
Oh,
And
yeah.
as I was saying, so it must have been sitting right in front of the door, like this, or like right where the door ends. Yeah, this is exactly where I thought it was going
Yeah,
to be,
and then
actually.
when he kicked the door open and knocked the notice board over, and Van Zieks went, oh shit, because he didn't make it very far into the room.
No.
And he didn't see any light, because there was a giant-ass board in the way.
Yeah, he immediately was drawn to the oil lamp and the desk, because he walked in, and between the door and the board, he didn't see anything. Yeah, that's what I was just saying earlier. I said that if the board was here, then that would have blocked both the body and the light from view.
Right. This is the only possible location.
Immediately adjacent to the doorway.
If the court would think back to the testimony given by the defendant earlier, he said that when he entered the room, it was dark, and he couldn't see the body.
Boy, yuck!
If the notice board had been here, the body would have been completely hidden from view, and the light from the candles would have been blocked, making the room appear darker.
Objection.
But the accused also claimed that the victim's body simply appeared before him. Yeah, because the board fell over.
Yeah.
That's true. Were his precise words. Just as I picked. Wait, I can't do a Cesaro doing a Van Zieks.
Yeah, it's too many levels.
Just as I picked up the firearm to examine it, the door flew open and I heard the man scream. It was only then that the body of Inspector Gregson appeared before me.
I don't know about calling it a scream, but he was talking about me and no mistake. Because it was me that kicked the door open.
If you look again at the floor plan, Consider what would happen if the door to the room was thrown open with force. Bonk.
That can't.
The door struck the notice board, knocking it over, and making the victim's body visible.
Good gracious.
My client has told nothing but the truth. He has simply described what he saw.
Order. Counsel, how has this not come to light before now?
After the incident, somebody must have righted the board and moved it into the position where the police, myself, and my colleagues saw it and when investigating the room.
Witness, what do you have to say for yourself?
What? Me, my lord?
You and your fellows were there at the scene before anybody else. It goes without saying that you must know something about the position of the notice board.
Witnesses in the stand will testify again. You will each explain exactly what you did upon arriving at the scene of the crime.
Stop looking over your glasses at me. I get the message.
Witness testimony. The mystery of the moving board.
I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just want my hand on it, that's all.
Oh, don't look at me. I haven't got a clue about it. I was doing business with some second years at the time. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. Just a sign at the crossroads of life.
It was like Reaper, I'll bet. He's got to face this Screams board.
What?
I can't see how this changes anything anyway. The detective still died when we heard the gunshot.
I mean, I think he was dead ahead of time, but...
Right?
Must
Given
have
how
been.
low the candles burned down, like
Like,
unless
he must have been
it
dead
no
in there
one-
for a while. Or there's
right?
shit
like
candles.
That's the candles, I mean. Either that or he died, the body got discovered, and no one bothered to snuff out those candles for like 4 hours or something.
Oh, hey, thought maybe. I don't know why she would
Uh-huh.
do this. We don't know anything about this lady yet. But what if the top of that candle was a firecracker?
Yeah, what if it was a bang?
What if
For
it
some
was lit
reason, like, as a
and
trick.
then went off, and that's why the top of the
It's lit.
candles exploded?
It's very possible. Because we still need to find whatever actually shot Gregson.
Yeah, we don't know that because apparently it wasn't the gun.
We don't know that yet.
So none of you can elaborate further.
Shaken by the crime they witnessed, and with only the light of a few candles and an oil lamp by which to see. We can't expect these witnesses to be able to give a more precise account of what happened.
That's right, yeah. It don't pay to expect too much. It's man's endless quest for knowledge that's destroying the world. That's what I think.
Do you? Really?
In any case, as this testimony shows, even if the notice board was moved by somebody following the incident, it makes no difference. When the gunshot rang out, the accused was the only person at the scene. In short, the only person who could possibly have committed this crime is Barak Van Zeeks. None of this wrangling over the board changes that simple fact.
Quite so. Does the defense still wish to cross-examine the witnesses despite the circumstances?
Yes?
Yeah.
or what? The trial ends? What do you mean? Most certainly, my lord.
Very well. Then you may proceed, counsel. Little pea boy, this thing.
Mystery of the moving board. I don't know anything about that there notice board. I just wiped my hand on it, that's all. I believe you.
Well, we could still press on all of these, couldn't we?
Yeah, that's true.
Hold it!
Hold it! So you admit that it was the board you wiped your bloody hand on?
Admit it. What's to admit? It's there plain as day for all to see. Smash a print in my right hand.
Perhaps you wanted to hide that handprint, so you righted the notice board and pushed it into the corner, did you?
No, imagine the weight of that grey lump. Do I look like a powerful and well-nurtured man?
Well, did you see anybody?
You look kind of like a freak.
Well, did anyone else see you moving the board?
I've got nerves of steel, I can tell you, but even I have my limits. There was a body on the floor in front of me and the Grim Reaper himself standing over it. And there was precious little light inside either. My bottom lip was all a quiver.
In other words, this witness is unable to give a definite testimony on that point.
Yes, so it will seem.
Hold it! When you say you were doing business with them, you mean you were selling them fireworks?
Yeah, what else? There's a primary school just round the corner, see? Those cheeky little so-and-sos have got a plan to blow up their school to Kingdom Come. So I've been telling on them, and their teachers know what they're up to.
Oh, you have?
They
J'accuse.
confiscate the fireworks and they have to buy more.
Yeah, wouldn't want anyone get hurt, so I let the school know the kids are playing with dodgy toys. Then, praise the Lord, the teachers take all
Yep.
the fireworks off them.
And then she gets out more, yep.
And then, praise the
yep.
Lord again, the kids all come back to me to buy more. Everyone's happy, see?
What a racket.
Cool.
She's spunky.
And
She's a
sometimes-
businesswoman.
Teachers give me a little bonus to thank me for letting them know. It's a busy old life selling explosives.
Venus is a guileful goddess indeed.
Well, telling barefaced lies is kind of my thing, really. I'm ever so good at it.
Yeah? What does a sandwich think?
Yeah, don't you start.
Something wrong, Mr. Sandwich?
If I said it was, could we just leave it at that? Would that be the end of it?
No.
No.
Did Miss Venus's statement just now bring something to mind, perhaps?
Philosophical thoughts. Deep philosophical thoughts.
Huh?
Let's say there was a great liar. And that great liar said, without batting an eye, telling barefaced lies is kinda my thing. I'm ever so good at it. Would those words of hers be a lie too? Or the truth? In which case, she's not a liar. Oh, it's a hellish paradox, that one. Don't you think?
I'm not entirely sure, to be honest. But it seems to me you're suggesting Miss Venus has been lying, are you? The accusatory turn.
What are you on about, old man? Trying to cause trouble, are you? Keep on like that. And I'll wrap your whole body in firecrackers and set him off. That'll give you something to tremble about.
You have a startlingly disturbing mind behind that sweet and innocent face, young lady.
Yeah, she's low-key and insane.
So Miss Venus has lied in her testimony. Is that what you're saying, Mr. Sandwich?
I don't want to blow up.
Well, if it means I'll be burning in hellfire for the rest of my days, so be it. Yes, that's what I'm saying.
Can you elaborate, please, sir?
I refuse to use your name.
Old Blabbermouth here headed for the room where the gunshot seemed to come from. But there was someone else who crept up the stairs behind him, too. That's right. That rotten liar over there.
Fuck her up, Sandwich.
Haha.
You mean to say you did in fact betake yourself to the scene of the crime after all?
What'd I tell you, eh?
Please stop throwing them directly at me.
I said I was good at telling barefaced lies, didn't I?
Yes, you mentioned it.
Well, that revelation rocked the whole courtroom, didn't it?
Who knew firecrackers packed such a punch?
So you did indeed visit the scene of the crime, did you, young lady? Good grief!
Well, now you come to mention it, I suppose, perhaps. I do clearly remember climbing the stairs to the room, yeah.
Either you clearly remember it or you don't.
Well, I will consider any punishment for this perjurous act later.
Just casually
But
comes
I'm
in and
being-
commits perjury for no reason.
Yeah, she's a scoundrel. Okay, listen. You don't understand. She's girl bossing.
For the time being, you will immediately amend your testimony to reflect the truth.
Oh, yes, my lord, of course.
You did sneak along behind gossip and have a little peek into the room where it all happened.
Hold it!
Hold it. You make a habit of lying, do you, Miss Venus?
Well, I suppose so. I don't really know, to be fair. If
I
you want
just
my
say
advice,
shit.
though, I'd take everything I say with a big pinch of salt.
All right, but you did in fact go to the room where the victim was killed on that day in question, didn't you?
Oh, please, as if I would. I can't think of anything more terrifying.
The truth, please.
Well, all right, just a bit then. I mean, a girl my age is curious about stuff, you know?
Did you touch anything at the scene?
Oh, please, as if I would. I mean, there was a dead body on the floor.
The truth, please.
Well, all right, just a bit then. I had a look to see if there was anything I could sell. So I did give the place a once-over, but it was nothing to write home about.
Right. Now, I hesitate to ask, but you didn't move the notice board by any chance, did you?
Oh, please, as if I would touch anything like that. Just a few bits of loose change is all I had.
The truth, please. Every time she does that fucking pose with the hands clasped, I'm like, yeah, she's fucking lying again.
Well, all right then, I thought there might be something worth having under it. So I blasted the flippin' thing. Sorry, flipped the blasted thing. Oh, that was pretty good.
You're telling us that you did move that board?
He looks mad.
I think that did slip out, didn't it?
What?
Blast that
You
fucking
deaf
thing.
bomb
Flip that
pot.
blasted thing.
I don't believe.
That's not your voice.
Yeah, I don't believe it. The girl doesn't think.
What? That's an awesome quote. Oh man, I gotta use that for stuff. The girl doesn't think.
So, did you find anything then? Something that you might have taken, perhaps, to sell?
Oh, please, I should be so lucky.
In my imagination,
The truth now.
I might have found this old pocket watch under the notice board, I suppose. But a bit of junk like this can't be worth much if you ask. Ah!
hey,
So it was you,
that's
was
his
it?
pocket watch.
You're the one what took it.
Gina, how'd you get in
Ah,
here?
she noticed. She knew that it was. Well, she's still a thief, an expert criminal.
Young lady, may I remind you where you are?
That watch there, that was a present to
Gregson.
Inspector Gregson from the yard for a big case he solved 10 years ago.
Professor case, no doubt.
The boss used to wind it up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub.
Well, that was a fun sentence. I
King
see.
Grub to come at the pub.
I swiped it off him once and blimey, he was upset. He gave me a right earful. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did.
Possibly not the best thing to go diving for then.
I wonder if this will give us a time of death.
It's not all of that, though. I took it to Jabez's that night to ask how much it was worth, but the old dealer wouldn't touch it. Wouldn't give me a penny for it. He said it wasn't working. Knocked about and worthless, he called it.
That will give us a time of death.
Ah, I knew I should have lifted it.
Damn, Gina is stanced up. She's ready to, like, fucking kill someone. That watch must be submitted as evidence as once.
Oh, please, just so long as you promise to give it back when we're done. Not a chance. I'll swipe it from you if you try to get your grubby mitts on it again.
That's enough. And the watch to the bailiff forthwith.
Why are we
money's
babysitting
on
in my
Gina.
courtroom again?
Yeah, I hate having to do this. Why
Now,
do so
now,
many children
watch your
appear here?
manners.
Still putting my money on Gina, though.
Yeah, no.
The other girl's crazy, but Gina's a scrapper.
Good lord! Glass appears to be broken.
More than likely, it shattered when the inspector was shot.
Doesn't tick anymore either. Which is why Jabbers didn't want it. What a waste, eh?
Yes, indeed. It appears to have stopped at the hour of 5.
Exactly when the gunshot was heard then.
Which supports the prosecution's claim, of course.
Gregson's pocket watch has been entered into the court record.
Well, it would appear the mystery of the movie notice board has been solved, at least.
Gotta take a look at that watch. This is the key.
Ah, that's the
windy
key.
thing.
Yeah, the little toy soldier we
Oh,
found.
the toy soldier key. Yeah. Ah, there's a
Yeah.
little tiny keyhole here. Can you see?
Oh yes, that's probably for the winder used to
And
wind
that's
up
why
the
the
mechanism.
winder was a little cop guy, because it was a present from the yard.
Yeah.
Looks a little unusual, don't you think?
Yes, you need just the right key to wind it, I imagine.
Why do I feel as though I've seen something? Something
Can
a
we
bit
use
like a
it?
key
We can
that's about the
buy?
right size to fit into this hole.
It'd be wonderful if we had the key. Let's check carefully over what we've already found.
All right, well,
You should examine the face of the clock first.
Yeah,
It was
yeah.
blinky.
the glass over the face really is badly cracked. Look,
What a shame when the inspector clearly looked after it so carefully.
I imagine Mr. Sholmes could repair it, don't you?
Yes, I should think so.
Broken glass? He's very adept at things like this. A useful man to have around, in fact.
But kindly remember that he's a great detective, Mr. Naruto, not an odd job man. Good job.
What's up with this thing? There's a tiny little
little
stub
clicker.
sticking out from the small hole here. Look.
I suppose there must have been a little knob or something on that for setting the time.
In that case, seeing as we know the inspector took such good care of this watch, it probably broke when the incident occurred, didn't it?
Yes, of course.
Which could mean that there's a small part of the watch still at the scene, maybe. Good to know for later.
Okay.
And nothing
It's
else.
weird they didn't engrave this.
Yeah,
That
I
was
know,
soldier.
right? Where are you? There you are. Oh, hold on, I have to click on his head.
Where did we find this again?
On the ground in the room. It is weird that he kept that key on him. Ah, what's that? It's a key. Can we click on it? Click on the key?
Yeah, it's flashing
Mr.
again.
Sato, do you think perhaps this key could be the key for Inspector Gregson's watch?
Oh, yes, it could be. Let's try it at once. There's not a moment to lose. Nice, nice.
I knew it. A perfect fit.
And look! The inspector's watch has started going again.
Ah, so it has obviously just not been wound up, that's all. So it
Oh,
didn't break at 5
It wasn't
o'clock.
wound up. So it was, yeah.
Does that
And
mean
if he won, that means he must have.
he must have been
not
dead for
wound
like
it the night
hours.
Yeah.
So somebody else in a red wig just went in there. What is it, Mrs. Sato?
Well, if the watch isn't actually broken after all, I have a feeling it could have profound implications.
She's deep in thought now. Perhaps I better start thinking deeply too. Details of Gregson's pocket watch have been updated in the court record.
Nice. That key was bothering me. I'm glad we figured that out.
Yeah.
And as predicted, it had very little bearing on the case. Oh, just you wait, buddy. Now,
Well, now then, complete with your cross-examination, please, counsel.
when do we present that, though?
When somebody talks about the time,
We should
I
press on
guess.
this.
Hold it!
Hold it. But you did go to see what had happened in the room, didn't you? Fresno Street is my whole world. It's all I know, and I know all of it. I have to make it my business to know if I want to hold my sign up high.
So you did go to see what happened.
It's not the destination that's important. It's how you get there, isn't it?
Did you notice the notice board in the room? If you think about it, we're both the same species, aren't we? Both different members of the sign family. So if I'd spotted it, I might have tried to trip it up on a sense of rivalry, I admit.
Someone really needs to tell you that you're Homo sapiens, not Homo sinians. That's fine.
That's bad.
It's
No,
not
it's
very
not.
good.
Don't
It's not
give them
very
that.
good.
Does that mean you didn't notice the board? Notice the
I can only repeat what I said before. I don't know anything about anything. I'm just a bystander, me. It's just a sign at the crossroads of life.
In which case, who was responsible for removing the notice board?
I mean, we already know that now.
Well, we do know that now.
People, I bet he's got to face the Screams board.
I would love to know what he meant by that.
Well, we could.
Okay,
we
this
could
is where we
press it.
present. That's where we present the watch, but we'll press this first, because I
Yeah.
want to know what he means by that.
What?
What
Explain?
exactly do you mean by that?
Oh, come on now, don't tell us you've not noticed. He looks like he hates everything in the world, that fella. But not notice boards, they're the one thing he likes. You can see it in his eyes.
I can't say I'd ever noticed.
I'll tell you one thing for free, though. I never took my eyes off that man on the floor, or off the Reaper, not for a second.
Sorry?
Well, I was that scared I couldn't. You never know what a fiend like that might do if you look away, do you?
If you didn't take your eyes off the defendant, you should be able to confirm categorically whether or not he was the one who moved the notice board.
Aye, that I can. The Reaper did nothing of the sort. I can swear to that. I couldn't have missed it if he'd have heavy the thing upright and dragged it into the corner.
Right. Glad we've cleared that up.
What happened to the face that screams bored?
I feel like your pain. I feel your pain, Kazuma. The tech still died when
Should
we
we
heard the
press
gunshot?
on this before we?
I guess we
Hold
can.
it!
Hold it. It was 5 o'clock in the afternoon that you all heard the loud bang, wasn't it?
Maybe.
Nope.
Maybe the notice board fell over, maybe it didn't. Maybe I fell over, maybe I didn't. But the Reaper's fate is sealed either way because of that gunshot we all heard. So your fate's sealed too.
My fate?
That's. Excuse me. That's right. The defense is fated to lose, and the prosecution to win.
In other words, it all hinges on that single gunshot. So if I could just find some problem with that part of their story.
It may be possible to change all our fates.
Of course, none of that changes the fact that I heard what I heard, does it?
Alright, now it's gonna give us some, not much to go on.
As you've pointed out, Mr. Naruto, there's no question that the notice board was moved. Somebody must have done it.
But it did happen after the event, so maybe Kazuma is right and it's not relevant to the case.
But it seems to have been deliberately positioned so as to hide the body from view. So I feel sure that there's some deeper significance to all this.
Yes, I know what you mean.
I've no doubt there are more clues to be uncovered. You're on the right track, I can feel it. So follow your instincts.
Alright then. Let's get to that 5th state. Wow! I forgot Bro pretzels himself.
Bro turns into a cinnamon twist.
Watch.
Watch.
Objection!
Objection! I'm afraid that's not necessarily the case. Oh. Aw. At the scene, we found this key to the winder of the inspector's pocket watch.
A key.
And, having wound the pocket watch, we discovered that it in fact still works. You see, the watch didn't stop because it was broken at all. And that fact completely undermines one of the most fundamental premises on which this entire case has been built.
What?
But counsel, watch was stopped at almost exactly 5 o'clock.
Yeah, which is just when we heard that gunshot.
And the top was removed so nobody could change the time.
It is exactly the hour.
The time that was showing on the watch tells us nothing other than when it wound down. It's merely a coincidence that it happened to be at 5 o'clock.
Objection.
Even if that's true, the 3 witnesses here all heard the gunshot at 5 o'clock. So that's obviously when this crime was committed.
Objection! No, that doesn't hold.
Why not?
Recall what Inspector Lestrade said only moments ago.
The boss used to wander up every evening without fail when he was waiting for his grub to come at the pub. Said he hadn't missed a day in the last 10 years polishing it and winding it. It meant the world to him, that watch did.
The victim was in the habit of winding his watch once a day, in the evening. We can reasonably assume, therefore, that he wound the timepiece on the evening before he died as well.
Yes, that would be entirely reasonable.
But if that's the case, you wouldn't expect the watch to have completely wound down by 5 o'clock the following day.
Oh, hi.
Well, how do you explain it then?
In summary, the evening before the day of the incident, when the gunshot rang out in that room, the inspector was already unable to wind his watch.
You can't mean.
What would stop a man winding his watch if he's been in the habit of winding it every single evening for 10 years?
Death.
The obvious answer is that he was already dead.
Omae wa mou shinderu.
Order! Counsel, that's the most extraordinary claim.
Extraordinary isn't the word. It's absurd. It's macabre. You claim he was already dead the night before? Do you really think that Scotland Yard's coroner would have overlooked something like that?
Ah, well, I mean,
There's
maybe.
no time of death listed at all. On that subject, there's something rather surprising. There's actually an omission in the coroner's report. The time of death is not noted.
Ah, that's right.
Wait a minute. You're forgetting that my legs went from under when I went and kicked that door in.
What do you mean?
Like I said, I planted my hand in a dirty great puddle of blood.
Yes. The victim's blood hadn't dried. It was fresh.
He catches on fast, doesn't he?
Objection.
Objection. But that blood could be explained in any number of ways. It could have been put there afterwards. Some fresh blood could have been poured over the victim's body after he...
Does my learned friend think that the fresh blood is available on every street corner?
Ah,
Well, it needn't necessarily have been human blood, of course. We've been told previously that Scotland Yard has no way to identify blood as human.
oh shit.
The problem is currently being researched, and present, you are correct, is beyond our abilities.
So then, a chicken's blood could have been used, for example.
Or pig. It's certainly a possibility that it wasn't the inspector's blood at all.
He didn't seem to have bled that much aside from directly underneath him. At least from the picture we saw.
Objection.
Yeah. But the gunshot was heard at 5 o'clock that afternoon. That's beyond question.
Is it though?
What?
I don't know why I chose to read it that way. Given that the time of death of the victim has already been called into question, it isn't beyond the realm of possibility that what these witnesses heard wasn't a gunshot at all.
Oh, please, what are you trying to say?
Us lot know what we heard, and it was a loud bang that come from that there room.
Now, you listen to me.
Oh shit, he's got his whip still.
A street seller's ears are his livelihood.
I don't doubt your ears, sir, but all you can state with certainty is that you heard a noise.
Eh?
Explain yourself then, Counsel.
A noise that sounds like a gunshot could have been made with...
Define, quick.
Take that.
Take that! Something like this. The culprit could have set off one of these to fake a gunshot.
Good gracious, the very fireworks that are sold by the witness.
Hold on a minute. Are you saying I did it? Our pretty little firecrackers only make a little pulp anyway, see? Not 100 of them together. The Venus special that you sell for 600 pennies sounds like this. As the court can now attest, it sounds very much like a gunshot, in fact.
Mr. Krabs' ass noise. You're trying to suggest that somebody set off one of those fireworks at the scene?
I'm suggesting that somebody knew the defendant was in the room at 5 that day, and sought to implicate him by creating a sound like a gunshot for these peddlers on Fresno Street to hear.
Objection.
I didn't mean to say peddlers like that. It sounded like a slur when I said it. It sounded like I had disdain for peddlers.
But even the accused himself has testified that he saw no one else in the room at the time. Whether it was a gun or a firecracker, the only person present to cause that bang was Beric Van Zeeks.
One whiff of a match and my firecrackers go pop. See? It's why people like them.
I fear for your...
My favorite fingers, young lady.
Objection. Recently, during my time here in Britain, I've learned of a very useful invention indeed. Something called a time bomb. Well...
Good heavens, a bomb?
Yes, a device that allows you to blow up whatever you like, whenever you like.
Mr. Narcandell, I worry that your unfortunate phrasing there may lead to yet another international incident.
No, wait. It's the whenever you like part that's important.
A timed device?
Yes, exactly. A timed device. Something of that nature could have been planted at the scene. A device that was able to produce the sound of a gunshot long after the culprit had left.
Your crowning claim will have to be substantiated with evidence, counsel. What proof do you have to suggest in any way that a time device was employed to create the gunshot sound?
Candle?
I assume so.
Take that.
Take that. As the court has already discussed, the tip of one of the candles in this candelabrum has been blown off.
Indeed, because it was struck by the bullet, presumably passed through the victim.
I don't think that's possible, my lord.
Not possible. Why?
Because of the scorching. There are gunpowder scorch marks clearly visible on the broken candle. You know, I hadn't even clocked that. I was just like, yeah, a bullet hit it. It's burned. Weird.
There are, goodness, yes. But is it not the case that there was also scorching on the victim around the bullet entry wound?
That's right, there was. But as we heard earlier, scorching like that only occurs when the target is at very close range, a matter of centimeters from the gun.
Wow.
Which means that the scorching on the candle can't possibly be the result of a gunshot.
You're suggesting it came from the fireworks?
How can that be, eh? That was the wrong voice.
How could that be, eh?
The fact that there's such visible scorching on the candle suggests that the fireworks must have been right next to it when they exploded. Or to put it another way, the candle and firecrackers were joined together. Ah. The culprit somehow attached the firecrackers at a point partway down the candle. After the killer had left the scene, the candle slowly burned down along with the other two. Until eventually it ignited the fuse of the firecrackers, generating a loud bang. And that is how these three witnesses came to believe they'd heard a gunshot at 5 o'clock.
Well, what a plot. This implies the victim could have died earlier than we've been led to believe. The previous day, even.
Now, just hold your horses. All us lot here saw the victim going into the building, remember?
I couldn't forget that flame-colored hair even if I wanted to.
The person you saw entering the building wasn't the victim at all. Consider this.
Huh.
Obviously, anybody could wear a wig. When will you wear wigs? So the person that these witnesses saw entering the building 15 minutes before the incident occurred could easily have been someone else entirely wearing the red hairpiece.
Someone else? Do you mean to say?
It was the same person who contrived the firecracker trick. In other words, Inspector Gregson's killer. Wow.
Ha 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 ha! Oh, very impressive, Ryunosuke. Naruto.
Kazuma?
I'm really quite amazed you've come this far. But after all, wasn't I the one who told you that you had all the makings of a great defense lawyer?
Thanks. Where's this going?
I also noted the lack of a time of death in this report. A stark omission.
If
And
you
I had
fucking
them
give me an
update.
updated autopsy report.
But as far as I'm concerned, this whole country's justice system leaves a lot to be desired.
Okay. That's a fair enough stopping line, I guess. I don't think we're gonna hit
Yeah.
one in the next couple minutes.
No.
I've been looking at the time. Alright, so we will cut it there for now. Thanks for watching, everybody. Have a good night, and we'll catch you tomorrow. I don't remember what I stream on Wednesdays. There's a strong chance it'll be
Pokemon.
more full. Oh, Pokemon, right.
Oh, we can do that too. I'll be
Yeah.
around though. I'll
Yeah.
also be around for the next like 20 minutes on Real American Josh, a channel I never use.
That's true. Go, hold on. I can do this.
I think I would need to go live if you want to.
No, not the raid part.
Okay, good. 'Cause I have to like open OBS and shit.
Is this anything? Is there any, like, underscores or anything, Matt?
No.
Does that go anywhere? They were playing Crab Champions. That's the last
Yeah,
time
it
I streamed on
was.
that. Right.
It was
Everybody-
January.
Go over there for a little bit. Have a good night, everyone. Bye.
Why?